Yo guys, Theo here. Uncommon sense. Can you hear the smile in my voice? I'm just really enjoying doing these recordings because, don't get me wrong, I love my regular format of being shirtless and ranting to the camera, and I'll always do that, at least in the summertime, because it also developed as a natural thing. The story of how it developed was actually, I thought I could go live back in the day when I just have a few hundred subscribers, and I wanted to go out, just do a monologue live, so I have a one take and it's just out there. Turned out you have to be monetized for some reason to just go live on the phone, have 1,000 subscribers, but that's how the format started. But when you've done something for years and years, even if it developed naturally, because of course rawness, realness, authenticity is what we're going for on the Uncommon Sense channel, but still, even if it's natural, when you do it for years and years and it becomes structured and it even becomes work, of course there are certain frameworks that develop and certain rules, quote unquote, you have to follow. And I'm just enjoying being able to let go of that. And it doesn't mean there is something wrong with that. This is not even the point, but I'll make a quick point. For this recording, it's not the subject, but variety. Sometimes just variety is good in and of itself, even if there is nothing wrong with what you're doing. Like, you can have a good routine in your life, but just going on a trip, doing something you haven't done. It can put some motion in the ocean, get the noggin jogging, get some energy flowing. So I like my videos, I love my regular format, and that will always be like the foundation, but right now I'm really enjoying getting to explore something new. So today we'll be talking about giving and receiving, and it's a wide subject and we'll just see where it takes me. I haven't thought it through too much. It's really just one thing that triggers me to even think about that. So I have an announcement about content like this, podcasts or videos, whatever I should call it, because right now it's just me in a room. But from now on, this will be extra content exclusive to Patreons. I will switch and use that as the main place where you can support me in exchange for some additional content, right? And what I've just thought about now is someone made a comment about that when I started talking about potentially doing this on the previous video. So this, what I'll be talking about will be related to this. I'll tell you what I have in mind with it, but it will also be a larger point. Because guys, like I say, everything in this universe exists in relationship, right? Many things, you can't have one without the other. And there's no chicken or the egg. It's a circular relationship like that, right? So when it comes to giving and receiving, if you want to receive fully in this life, you have to give. You have to give. You cannot completely receive without being a giver too. And the funny thing is that you cannot truly give unless you put yourself in a position of receiving too. It's very interesting, all of this. So the way I see it, everything exists on a spectrum in a relationship, meaning there are two poles to everything. And so some people, it's just easier for them to just demand and take what they just want. They don't have so much regard of whether they deserve this or not, or if they're bothering or exploiting someone else, right? Not even always because they are bad people that just exploit people, but because they just don't function like that. It's not a concern for them. Then you have people on the other end that it comes very natural to them to just give, want to be there, want to provide something, But this kind of person is not always great at receiving. And because they feel it, It's bothersome. It takes energy. Who am I to demand this, right? And so obviously you get, the giver clearly is giving something away, right? And the receiver clearly is receiving. But the point is, this would be maximized if you could equally be good at both. So I, in my life, had generally been great at giving, but not at receiving, right? That, I've always felt like I try to describe now, like some resistance, something like it's dirty. Imagine situations like, asking for help, a favor somehow, or being in a situation when you're like, if you're selling something, even just ask for money, maybe demand a raise at a job. It's like I feel a lot of, not as much anymore, but when I talk about historically, I felt a lot of resistance towards that, right? But I've seen on, like, I've worked like sales jobs, and the way I would succeed, I would never be the best salesman at something when it's a product that I don't like truly believe in. You know, like, it's one thing when I sell my own stuff here with Uncommon Sense, my coaching. It's me who's completely responsible. I can 100% get behind that, right? But if I'm selling someone else's, even if I can come up with some positive things, right? On some level, I'm always going to be feeling that what I'm mainly trying to do here is not to help someone, but just push this thing, make them say yes to this thing. Because, oh wow, it's so interesting, I get ahead of myself. But, you know, pushing the right thing on someone, selling the right thing to someone, you're actually doing them a favor. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So with that kind of, like, I had a job, first full-time job I had after high school was selling lottery tickets. And it was something I could kind of, you know, I don't believe in it at all, but I could at least like come up with a story of why, you know, it's just fun. It's not a big scam on anyone, and someone could win money. It's not likely, but someone will win. Someone will win, right? And you learn about your particular product, of course. Oh, in this lottery, this and this amount goes to charity, so you support that too, right? And so for me, I was never the pushy closer that just kind of grabbed someone and just walked towards the close, but I would just make people excited and make them like my personality. And I could sell them that way, that they feel like, yeah, you know, it's a fun thing, and this guy, a good guy, you know. But I saw this like heartless seller type that, again, I could see wasn't always heartless, but it was just so much, this person, like, if they called someone, they hear that they're super old. Okay, this is the more heartless person I'm talking about now. But, you know, they see, you get the call. You know, you don't decide who you call. It's automated, right? It shows up on the screen as the person picks up. And when it's someone that's like 85 years old, I would be like, and I hear like, hello. You know, I'm like, I just want to hang up, you know. This other, well, in this case, definitely heartless salesperson, she's like, great, this person, I'll just make them say yes to this, agree to it somehow. I get my sale. But point being here, that the person that's a giver, it's always going to come around somehow, that when you give. I mean, I see that I've talked for 8 minutes. I'm noticing how much I have to say about all of this. So we'll just see how long it ends up being. But the giver, like, when you give, it's not, of course, always that you get exploited, right? A lot of people will like you and somehow either be willing to return a favor somehow if you ask them, but also many times by themselves. But however, the giver, if they're not protective of their energy, they will draw in the kind of person that just extracts, either because they are completely heartless and just can exploit the person like that, or because they clearly have just the opposite way of functioning. They think of it, the person will just say no or something, you know. They don't feel bad about just asking for more and more and more and more. And the giver, if they don't learn to set boundaries and protect their energy, like, you know, it's difficult because in this life you want to be giving not because you're supposed to get something in return. Not that everything is transactional, but on the other hand, it's also true that you can't just keep giving away of yourself into nothing. You know, there will be nothing to you left. So there's a balance there. Your intentions in giving should be pure, but you also need to understand that it's not bad, it's not wrong to just, you need stuff for yourself too, right? And when you reach perfect alignment with this kind of thing, you know, that's when, for instance, when I am vibing at my highest and I'm like selling my coaching to someone, I'm discussing coaching with someone, I know that me helping myself, quote unquote, by getting money, getting paid for my service, right? it's the exact same thing in this setting as me helping this person, because I know what I can provide. Then, that's a side note. It's going to depend. This person got to be able to do the work, but I know that I have the solution and I'm going to be a great tool for them to reach this, right? So that's what you want to find when you don't give to get, but you just know that when I give to the right people in the right way, in the right setting, I also get. You just know that these are... they exist in a perfect relationship, right? So exactly like the giver, they will be able to give and they would get some stuff back from that. But often before they learn to set boundaries and be protective, that not everyone is like them, right? They're probably going to be exploited and not feel like they're not getting as much back. However, the person that has always had an easier time taking and receiving for themselves, they're also going to notice that they're going to get burnt somehow from that. That at some point it's just gonna, I'm not coming up with an example right now, but people are gonna, just like some people would just appreciate the giver and want to do things for them. Some people will notice that this person just takes and takes. They will cut them off somehow. And it can be like I said, because I've not been this person, so I don't really have a personal example. But that person could get burnt. Instead of feeling like I've given everything away and I've got nothing in return, it could feel like, shit, I've taken now, and that made me lose things because of this. I took too much. Now people don't want to associate with me. And in the same way, the receiver, it can be a skill. It can be good to be able to go for what you want. There's like many times people, when they listen to a thing like this, people will identify with the side and the pole and want to sympathize. But we have to realize none of them are perfectly right. There's a balance of the two. So the receiver, they have this skill, right? But if they could become a bit more generous and empathetic and thinking, like even some people that they couldn't sell with their normal tactic because they feel this way. I don't want to be exploited. If they feel more kind and caring energy for you, you'll be able to receive even from this person, right? But also this kind of person, if they went out of their way to be a bit more giving sometimes, they would be receiving more in places where they maybe don't saw the possibility for it, right? So I think I've done a good little intro explanation of the giving and receiving thing. So in my life, I have definitely had to learn to not give too much. It's a strength. Both can be a strength and both can be a weakness. It's like, of course, when it's always a mix too. Just like the salesperson that's very aggressive with it can just be that they're assertive, they know that what they're doing, they're leading it the right way, they're not afraid to ask for what they want. But it could also be toxic, just exploiting someone. Well, the giver, they can give and fool themselves, that is, because they're so nice and kind, but it can be out of a fear of abandonment, that I need to be giving or else I'll lose this person, or maybe there actually is a hidden back thought, I want to get this from this person, so I gotta give it. But this can also, of course, be a great strength when you just want. You're a giver. You bring people like something, you give something to them, but you raise them up, just not because you need something in return. This is just in your nature. Of course, that's great too. But in my case, I started to think back, like if we go before the uncommon sense time, just a lot dominated in my life that people, I didn't notice, but people picked up on the fact that they could make me feel guilty and stuff and exploit me, get stuff out of me, right? And when I started waking up to everything with the whole uncommon sense thing, post the panic attacks, like when you have such a drastic wake up like me, it's like you get instantly a lot better at because I was forced to say no to a lot of things when I just had panic attacks and stuff, right? And I had just gotten a bit more comfortable with that. I don't have to, you just give completely. But our stuff sits deep. Often, when I think of healing any sort of trauma and behavior mechanisms you have, it's often with layers. At first, the most clear is that, let's say someone has a fear of abandonment and people pleaser hardcore. They might even be like that with someone they almost just met. right? And then maybe when they get a little more secure, well, just random people, they don't feel that way for. But so then people that are more in their circle, they still have this kind of behavior. And then, it goes on. Soon it's just people you know quite well. And soon it's almost not even friends, it's just your immediate family. And the last thing that will always be the most difficult for all of us is the romantic partner, right? But so during this time, look, when I started the Uncommon Sense channel, I started, it is 100% genuine. I just want to give this, that I found. I changed my life. I'm so grateful. Life can really be like this. I never thought so. And there are many other souls that are trapped in an experience like this. Not panic attack necessarily, but different, similar stories and life situations, difficulties and problems, right? They need to know. They need to know how they can prove it. And so I just give. And look, that's the thing. I've received a lot in some ways during these years, but I've also received less than I could have because I've not been good at receiving. It's kind of interesting to think of these things as something you're good at. But that's something I learned more deeply, really, the last couple of years. That, man, why am I so bad at receiving? Even when I've improved, why is that at my core? I'm always great at giving, but not so much at receiving. But throughout these years, like in many ways, just of course the energy, the way people treat me, I see it as receiving something. But it's hard to come up because it's been so many years, but there have been many things where I've just been given something. Someone just thinks of me, and yeah, because you did this for me, I give you this thing or this food, or I'll take you out for lunch, or many things like this. And even when the YouTube channel has been smaller and stuff, it's just happened sometimes that someone has like sent me $100 on PayPal. It's like, yeah, all the work you do for free, stuff like that, right? So I have absolutely gotten a lot back from just giving, but sometimes I felt like things have gone really slow for me. And just aside, because I remember now, I started because I wanted to help people. Putting out the videos for free, that's one thing, because when I truly just want it, I don't sit there and I'm so disappointed that I just have like 100 views on a video on my like new channel, and that I don't get anything, quote unquote, by just likes and views and stuff, right? But then, so I want to try, some people reach out to me that, and I'm like, I coach for free too, and I can use a person's result if this would be professional at some point and that. And this is when I once upon a time, a guy, it's like I think I found a prospect, right? And so I spent time creating this plan for this guy, created a training program and stuff, because, now, things like that, I've just programmed for so many people that I think faster. It's not as much of an effort. It's still an effort, of course. But this was newer to me then. But so I invest all this time creating this program for this guy who, in the end, after like a week or two, just ghosts me completely. And that's when I see that, even when I give, and it's not like I'm here, I'm not trying to get money. It was not because he paid me I'm doing this or anything, right? But I got burnt. So I realized, when I would like to coach someone for free, but it's almost like I can't, because I'm risking too much. And I started realizing this too, that people, it's like they have to pay to appreciate something, right? But this truly, when I say that now, I didn't realize this as deeply at this moment, but I guess it's something I realized since then. No, but sometimes I've tried on this YouTube channel, and I felt I've invested, I've really done it like a pro before being a pro. And I mean, of course, with my kind of format that I don't have all these high tech recording studio stuff, I mostly have a phone or a webcam and maybe a microphone. But the point is, still in the way I put out content and the things I do is as if it's a profession. I take it that seriously with how often I post and that. And sometimes I guess, I put out a bunch of videos and not so much has happened. And I think I start feeling a little bit of resentment. And sometimes I felt like the people that already followed me back then, that it's like you're a little lazy, like I ask you, I'm putting out all of this for free, and like, so can you at least like and comment when you've had a channel for years, you put out a video, in a couple of days, 130 views, 12 likes, no comment, it's like, It's discouraging, right? But right now, I'm trying to not get stressed that I want to keep the red line going, because that's the whole point. It's such a big subject, right? But yeah, I guess I started to learn that more and more, that both for my own sake, I gotta protect my resources, my energy and time, attention, right? Just for my sake. But also in many ways, I mean, this guy, of course, that he didn't get anything from it either. He wasn't invested enough in it, or he had nothing to lose. Kind of funny thing is, years later, because this guy has followed me since then, I kind of confronted him about this, and he realized it, and was like he got called out, had a similar experience in his life. So you see, this was the kind of a receiver person. Oh, here's a great story. So, of course, I worked as a personal trainer too, and what I do, guys, I've seen all these 6 years, I'm always working on myself and others in whatever way. Sometimes you're just talking to people, giving them little insights and everything. That's the way you should view it, guys. That you're always trying to influence your brothers and sisters here in a positive way. But so, when I worked in a gym, I was PT. And there was a guy exactly my age, who I started talking to him in the sauna, I guess, and he was kind of, burnt out. He's not working, he's on sick leave, so he's going to the gym and stuff, but he's lazy. He's never pushing it far enough, and he can tell. I tell him some of my story. This guy, basically, it's interesting to talk to someone because he has some insights, but it's very much that he is not up and running and doing the work completely. And this guy, he can see that he can gain a lot from me, right? And he wants to work out with me sometime, and for me, because now at this point I'm here, I didn't have any problems with this situation, but I'm just gonna show you what still ends up happening a lot to a person like me, and what the other kind of person on the other end of the spectrum is. Not to say that they are always lazy and not doing the work completely, but in this kind of dynamic. So mostly I do not want to work out with other people, because when you reach the high level and you're fit, you end up feeling like you're taking care of someone else so much. And like on the odd workout with a bro, of course, but generally, since I am much more serious with it, I have to prioritize that I have good workouts, right? But so to this guy, I pretty much say that, well, if you just tag along for my workout, it's fine, right? And so he does that. And he does that well, all right? So I don't mind it, and I can see myself like, yeah, this guy can tag along for workout every once in a while. But yeah, this guy texts me and stuff on my Instagram. He wants to. He's like, I like to meet you, and I'm kind of like many times, and yeah, well, I'm busy. Like maybe sometime, because I don't see this guy truly as a friend either, because it's so obvious that he wants stuff from me, right? This is what I guess I was more blind to it previously in my life. How often people wanted something from me, that I was giving them something I didn't even realize, just by my presence, my ideas, what I just bring to the table by being with this person. So at one point, after me just being a bit like that, we'll see. I'm busy right now. I'm not going to meet this guy just as we're friends, because that's not the way I see it at all. And so one time when he asked me, I just happened to actually be close to him, and I was going for a walk. So I'm like, okay, if you come join me on my walk, we can talk. And he brought up this relationship problems about this girl. The thing is, I know I have excellent advice to give about many situations like that, because I've learned a lot from my own experiences, and I am a coach, teacher, I know, right? And I enjoy when I'm just going on a walk that I would anyway talking to say, I am a giver. I want to help, right? But so he ends up thinking that I help him a lot. And well, after this, he wants to see me more times, and I'm like, same thing. It's like, well, I'm busy, well, maybe sometime. And at one point, he's like, we had such a good talk last time. I would really need to talk to you again, because I've already sensed all of this, what we're coming to. So now is when I actually say something and say like, yeah, look, man, it's nice to talk and everything, but remember that I don't need to talk to you. And he's like, haha, the way it's in writing, but it's like, it's clear he's unsure what I mean by this. But yeah, at some point, again, when I'm actually about to go out on a walk, but I'm not close, I'm like, okay, bro, we can talk on the phone. And when we talk, and what we just come to a point where I have to say like, look, man, I just have to say it now that we're not, because he's asking, would you like to train? Would you like to see it? Like, look, man, we're not friends, right? You want to see me all the time because you're getting something from me. And look, what am I getting? And it's so obvious in this sense too that I'm not being selfish, right? Because I have given a lot. I don't just try, it's not in my nature to just try to extract things from people, even in the past when I give something that I deserve to get something back from, right? And he was shocked. He was shocked when I told him this, that, bro, this is a coaching relationship. I've been happy because when it's, we run into each other in the gym and that to like help you out a bit. But if we're going to do it in this manner, you're going to have to pay me. And he's like shocked to this. But he understands though completely. But this is what I mean. This guy was not just a heartless extra. Clearly, he had just learned a lot that other people are more, I get stuff from other people more than I'm someone that's learned that I serve other people or almost to serve other people. Then you're in the positive, almost slave. I have to provide for other people, right? But so you see, I've had to learn a lot of lessons about this. And sometimes, because I see too, that when the giver wakes up to this fact, they can become a little demanding and entitled when they realize, it's like they're not patient enough and realize, well, I should still give and not demand too much back. You just kind of have to change, without being so upset about it. You have to realize that you're part of the, it's always you, right? Like, yeah, there are some people that will exploit you and extract you. You have to protect themselves from that. But at a point too, when you're a content creator in this case, I mean, I just have so much time in that, and you have to make something, I gotta have something back, first of all, but also to be able to know how to prioritize and that, you gotta have different tiers of things. So of course, I already have coaching clients for a while, but now we're reaching the point. I'm going to have to do it with the content. And so should I, let me pause the recording and bring up the comment from the guy actually. Okay, let me just move the recording window out of the way. Okay, so this guy said, great monologue. It's on my last video, this format, right? One of your best. Now, I know you need to make money, but I think you shouldn't paywall this. It would be a shame that only a few would have access to it when a lot of people need to hear this. And this at the time it made me think a lot, but I knew, let's talk about it like this before I think too much. Many times, guys, when you do creative work, you destroy it when you manage to think something through too much before you actually, create it, like in this case, recording. But I said, the short answer I said was, that's the thing though, you gotta offer something to those that support. Most content will always be free. This is kind of interesting because I recorded another video today that touches, I recorded another video. It's related to this. It'll probably be out before this, actually. It's about my coaching. But yeah, it's kind of like, I need something. I need to make money. But just in the same way, there are some points. Well, I guess it's okay with this format. Sorry that it's a little messy, but that's the entire point of the format, right? That, it's just like it's kind of entitled for some. I could be entitled. Let's start here. Someone could be entitled and feel, I just deserve Theo's videos for free. I don't even like and comment. I'm not going to engage at all. I just extract everything from Theo. And I think, paywall, I'm not, the guy I read, it was not, the guy that the comment has nothing, it was just because he triggered the thought of this, right? So I'm not describing that I think he had a bad attitude in any way. But you see, someone could be entitled in that way, just think that Theo should just give me a bunch of stuff for free. But that's also kind of what I feel like, I can ask for super chats and support from you guys, but it would be kind of entitled for me to say that I just want you guys, I stopped putting out videos, but I'm like, but I think you should support me still though. Comment on my old videos, I already put out so much. Just give me money, guys. I deserve it, right? It would be entitled, but it becomes kind of unfair even to the one that wants to support. If someone is like, nah, but people need to see this, don't paywall it. But it's kind of but someone that wants to support, I want to be able to reward them. They want to reward me and I want to reward them. And this is the point, guys, how it exists in relationship. It's that If everyone is big on giving to each other, they will receive the most from each other. This is the point that sometimes this is because it's in my nature I don't want people to feel like I'm trying to get your money or extract your. I feel bad. I'm still, when I worked a lot about myself, it's like in my core. I don't want that because I know it's not true. Right? I don't want the misunderstanding that people think I look at them as a money bag when I want them to be my client, for instance. Like, no, I see you as a person that I can help. I want to help. And in this case, to make a relationship with someone I don't know equal, the money is there to balance the relationship out, right? But let me actually pause and collect my thoughts real quick. Yeah, well, I've made videos about this in the past, actually, when it's not related to me and my content, but that if everyone, instead of having the mindset of what do I get out of it, and just trying to get as much, that's ego. Just the ego just thinks about take and having for yourself. But if everyone went into everything with a mindset of what can I give, how can I provide, how can I help this person out, make something better for, like, if everyone thought like that, imagine where the world would be. If everyone, instead of just grabbing and holding on to whatever they can, people just realize, if we all know I give everything I can because everyone else does that too, we would get so much from each other. And that's what you learn. I both hired coaches myself and work with people, and it's very interesting. Like, first of all, I of course just know that I'm very happy to be able to provide content for free, because I know a lot of people will be able to do a lot with free content. I have myself too, right? But you just always know that when you work directly with someone, you're going to be able to bring more, right? So it's like different levels. The more you give, so in my case with the videos, of course you get the videos, but if you comment and engage and stuff, you might get answers. You get more out of me. Do you see what I'm saying? But if you take it to the next, if you buy my book, you get all that information. If you go my coaching, now you get what you get from the videos, but working directly with me, right? So you see, this is what I want people to understand, that sometimes I want to be like, guys, just give me money, just hire me. It's like, because you're going to get stuff back. This is a place where reciprocation happens, right? And I feel that way too about you guys. I've not, especially when I've been good at this, not letting people just exploit me. I've worked on this throughout these years, but also seeing just the pragmatism of it all. That I just can't give everything away completely, and I actually end up giving more when I'm not restrictive with my giving, but putting a price on it, right? Because, half the thing, I know I will have talked about this in my video about coaching, but half the thing with a thing like coaching is that you actually pay, so that you value this now. And so that's what I also said in that video, that's a good position for the coaching, for the coach, that of course they have to provide the actual work and work with this person too, but it's like half the work they're doing is existing as that role model that it's the place where you invest, right? And the person that holds you accountable, that you answer to and work with. But that's the point. You see the guy I told the story about that just ghosted me, right? He clearly he didn't value it, right? Some people, even when they pay, they cannot. But many people, they realize, just like me. So I tell you about, I think I talked about in the coaching video about when I hired a mobility coach. That was the exact same thing. To make the point shorter here, I had not gotten around to doing mobility training. I've been thinking about it for a long time. So I paid what was at least a significant sum to my friend who's a mobility coach. And lo and behold, that was all that was needed for someone like me to just get it done. And since then, I have it with me forever, what I learned from that period. And I improved on my mobility much faster than I otherwise would have, right? You see, I had gotten some little advice and stuff from my friend before, because we're friends, we give and receive that way. But when I actually bro, just take my money and give me the mobility stuff and be involved with me for 3 months on that, I got much more of it, right? So guys, that's the point here. You're gonna decide. I'm so happy. I know most people won't end up clients, and that's fine, I couldn't take everyone on as a client, literally, right? Like at a point, that's what you want as someone like me. Business has been going all right, lately. But at a point when you're someone that's into helping, you want to use the money more as a like, for instance, coaching clients, let's put it this way, I'm doing okay, but I need income, right? But when you reach a certain level, you have several income streams. You can choose coaching clients according to the level of seriousness by putting a higher price. It's not even about you. You just know that, well, if a person that pays this, they're serious enough, that they're worth my time. I want to work and help this person, right? But so for now, let's end it by saying exactly what I have in mind just for the Patreon here. I want to put an $8 lowest here. When I will be putting out videos like this of varying degrees and just any like additional content that is maybe a bit more free, just a little different from the YouTube channel, right? And I'll do that not at a specific frequency, but as you see, it's something I definitely can do. I don't have to organize myself as much, right? So I'm thinking probably like at least once per week, but probably more often I'll put out something like this. And then sure, every once in a while, guys, because all the content is always mostly going to be free. So I put out a longer thing that's like similar to this. Even just, to remind people that, hey, there are content. There's what you always do, guys. I'm going to coach and teach people in business, being a content creator and being a coach and all these things in the future too. I've had this vision for a long time, guys. That, in a way, you take your audience on a ladder, and everyone doesn't have to, like someone could, they maybe just needed to get the first few steps on the ladder to climb all the way to where they wanted to be. You see what I mean? The first step on the ladder is the content, the free content, but also within the content, there's ladders like to your schools, your ideas, right? And then, okay, next level might be Patreon now, when we have more of this content, and then the next level might be the book, when there's actually everything training related more directly that I don't always talk as much in detail about in videos. And then after that you have the coaching, right? And you see, you present the ladder, and so always to present the other steps of the ladders, some of those will always appear lower down on the ladder, like So I guess, guys, I think it's so interesting. I love so much that I feel like I can my work is sharing exactly what I do, think and do, like both as a person, but just literally. Like someone can definitely listen to this and learn about how to be, like work on yourself with stuff like setting boundaries and be protected with your energy, this whole giving and receiving thing, but also about being a content creator and coach, running a business, that we're touching on some subjects like that, And I know that this content is incredibly valuable, and I guess that's some few last points. I could go on for so long about this, but yeah, someone who is entitled to something, they do not deserve it. It's like with this guy, the comment I read, that again, nothing against the guy, the way he didn't express it in a titled way or anything, but a person that wants to listen to my content and finds it incredibly helpful, if they're offered what might be like, let's say 2 hours of extra content like this, and it costs them $8 per month, and they're like, yeah, I should be getting it for free. You clearly don't deserve it. Like, you see, and it's not from me being entitled this. It's like, I would say that about anyone else too. Because also I know that, bro, if you pay, you get exactly what you need and want more. It's like there's no scam here. You're not getting screwed over in any way. And look, that's one point I wanted to remember here. The people that end up working with me, that like go on the elite program, the more expensive one, which of course sometimes is just because they have more money, but not always. Not always. Some people really value their self-development, right? And that's the funny thing. People, the more they invest in you, still the fairer they treat you, the less they treat you like just a servant that's just there. Because they realize all of this. I've even had some clients express that I'm grateful that I get to pay to get this help, to be involved with you, And it's just like me. I am extremely grateful that, some of my guys, I mean, all of you, I love all my guys, but I mean, it's incredible. I think sometimes when I've had like a work call with someone, like, man, I can't believe that this guy, he got a lot out of this. I did it too. I loved it. And I'm in a position to make a living from this. Wow. I truly am grateful. But you see, all great business, what it really is relationships, right? And all great business and all great relationships have two winners, right? So the more you invest in the right places, the more you get back. And that's the point, guys. Give to receive. If everyone was a giver. So that's, of course, what I tell someone that it's more on the spectrum that I've been, and it's further, it's a bit behind on the development. You, of course, gotta learn to protect your energy and don't give everything away. Like this, it's a beautiful trait that you have, but for this reason, be protective of it. Give it in places where it's actually appreciated, right? And actually gives you back so that you have more to give, right? It's like, and I'm looking for an analogy for this. It's somehow that when you keep throwing a ball back and forth to each other, the ball is valuable and it somehow grows just from you. Like we're throwing it back and forth. No one just taking the ball. Like, I hold on to this. They are left with less than they could have. The other person with nothing. Let's all be winners instead. But yeah, guys. So we'll see exactly. I mean, I think I'm thinking out loud now. I'm probably putting this out tomorrow, which would be Friday. And then I will have, if it isn't, it might not be, because I will prepare the Patreon for this before. So it will be linked in the description, of course. At $8 Patreon tier. You know, I'll keep the membership on YouTube just active so that someone that just wants to, because it's convenient somehow, they want support that way. But just so you know that's not what we'll be focusing on. There won't be any perks with that. So you can also just transfer that to Patreon if you want access to something exclusive. And I'll also say, guys, I'll make a last point. With my live streams, have you seen that I've been on a few lately? I've been like, guys, you gotta talk to me or else I'm out, Because you understand that people pay money for my time. And on my live stream, I'm just available for free. And you can ask me literally anything, right? And you see that I want super chats too, but that's I'm not even demanding that at this point many times to like just be there. Like you have to give me money or else I go. But you have to talk. Like how spoiled are you? How entitled are you? Theo is already spitting out a bunch of content you don't have to lift a finger for. And so I've seen that the live streams, there are fewer people tuning in. There's been a bit less engagement in the chat. And also I've done group coaching before, and that's definitely something that could come around again. And you see, guys, you see that it's not from a place of entitlement. It's just like, look, guys, if the live streams are not worth it, if you don't make them worth it, they're not worth, they have to go. I'm sorry, So this, because I probably upload this before the Sunday, we will have a live stream now on Sunday. Guys, leave super chats, engage in the chat, even comment afterwards on these videos. When you invest in places with me, not just with money, you're going to see that it works. You're going to see that also with people's ideas I listen to and make content out of. You see, you can invest in many. I like it. I love that you talk to me in the chat. I see it as you helping me create my content for all the other ones. This is mutual, guys. We're in it together. I happen to, on the Uncommon Sense, someone has to be the leader, the center here. But it's all about us bringing what we can on our level that's reasonable in this setting to each other, right? And so we have money. Cool. I get inspired just talking, guys. We have a Discord server now where there's going to be a little bit more of the anonymous and trolly elements. But of course, I don't want it to be completely unserious, but memes and stuff. I would love it if you guys would do some stuff on me, do some fun edits on me or whatever. Like, these are the things you could do, guys, to help out. And this is, again, guys, it's like I'm trying to end the video, but things just keep coming up to me. You know that many times when people have just done things for me, I've done stuff like that. Wow, I really appreciate that. Would you like to have a call? When you give, when you just get involved in something, which, however, it's fun, right? Many times, investing in something, you get something back. And again, reminder to the giver, you have to see when it doesn't, right? When you're not fine with it, and the only change would be you stop investing here. But yeah, guys, we have the Discord server. We're gonna I have many projects, but there's gonna be a community site. There's gonna be higher price than the Patreon, definitely, but also much bigger thing, because it won't just be about content, right? That's where there maybe could be some group coaching going on, but definitely community, because guys, this is not just again, I'm the one sitting here, but it's not just about me and what's going on between you. I want us to be a tribe. I want us to grow together. That, and again, guys, you choose on which level, either which level of the ladder is necessary for you, or just how high on the ladder you're willing to go. But yeah, guys, wow. No, I truly am blessed that I'm in a position to do what I'm doing here now. And little Theo never would have believed it. And no, I'm so grateful for you guys. Oh, I misunderstood when I was looking at my time. I should have just ended there. I wanted this to end at 44 because I just saw I was so close when I actually finished here. Maybe I fixed that somehow. But peace, guys. See you on Patreon, in the normal videos here, and in stuff like this every once in a while on YouTube too. But yeah, guys, peace.